I'm here to give you 5 tips to start your journey onto ethical fashion without breaking the bank. Hey, I'm Hanny. I'm an ethical fashion designer. Now, when I started out, aside from my own design practices, I needed ways of becoming ethically conscious on a budget. So I'm going to give you 5 tips here to make that easier. Tip number 1, breathe. This is not going to be simple. Your friends are still going to be choosing fast fashion. People you know will still be rocking up in new outfits. You're going to find that the world around you slowly becomes different. So breathe. This is a journey and it's not simple. 2, find your style. Now, Pinterest is going to become your best friend. Instagram, saving posts that inspire you, finding icons that inspire you. These are all the things that change your wardrobe from being something inspired by a trend or what other people are wearing and become solely about you. That piece has now become something that you will wear over and over again. Ultimately, the most sustainable piece is one that you already own. Number 3 is thrifting. Second-hand, charity shops, pre-loved. The stigma around it is huge. When I was a teenager, I wouldn't set foot in a charity shop. I thought it was a place that grannies shopped in. I went on to art college. Everybody wore second-hand, but it was more of an identity. It was who you were, what you did, Doc Martens, big jumpers, Levi jeans. Then fashion college. Secondhand was nowhere. It was trends, new. Eventually I found thrifting. And there's a huge community around that. You're going to love it. Instagram community is huge. You get excited about the hunt, finding those pieces. It becomes more about an item than what that item represents. 4th is vintage. Vintage again is something that became fashionable about 10 years ago. Everybody wearing their patterned shirts, Levi's again, everything was big. That disappeared with the rise of super fast fashion. But don't be put off by vintage. Vintage is decades of design. Those 70s pieces that are coming back now, there are tons of 70s items out there. You've just got to find them, accessorize them, style them how you want. Vintage can be tricky. I've struggled personally with vintage stores. It's somewhere I need to kind of get back into. But what I would say, online vintage is great. Avoid the really high price vintage and keep hunting for those pieces. I love eBay for it. It's more personal. They're in the family. They are those items from the 70s that people are selling on. And finally, for those times that you can't do any of the above, you need to shop on the high street. Maybe it's workwear that you can't find. There's no size inclusivity in the other options. Or maybe it's underwear which you don't want to buy second hand. This is when you need an app. Number 5 is apps. The Good On You app has been revolutionary for me. Every time I need to shop on the high street, whether it's something I can't find second hand or it's been part of my process where I had to shop on the high street, it ranks each store in 3 different ways: animal cruelty, labour and sustainability. You can then decide which is most important to you, compare ratings between stores, and ultimately it makes your general approach to shopping more conscious. Those are my 5 tips. I hope you enjoyed them. Let me know what you think. I'm going to continue sharing these tips with you and hopefully help you ease into ethical fashion.